a little bit of time tonight, so I'm doing a little bit more work on the bike. I've been working on getting that tank polished and waxed up. And so now I'm going to be working on the bike. I'm getting some of the wiring in. Let me show you kind of what's going on there. So what I've got going on here is I'm rewiring in the heated grips. Got those cables run, and then I'm also running the wiring for a heated seat pad that I'm going to put on the bench seat. It'll go right here. So I'm putting that wiring in now. I probably won't get the bench seat heater pad put in for a while. But at least I'll have the wiring done, because taking the tank off and the seat off isn't the most fun. And so at least I'll get all that wiring done and hopefully have everything that I need wiring for put in. Plus, in a week, we've got a trip coming up, so I want to be able to have things in tip-top shape. So that's what we've got going on. I'll kind of show you the progress as we move through there. Still got to wire in the meter and everything up front, but got to get the rest of this wiring done first. Well, I got quite a bit of the wiring done, figured some things out. I'm going to go ahead and wire in the switch here, a waterproof switch, and that'll be my power for both my heated grips and my heated seat. And then over on the front, I was able to get some of the wiring tucked in a little bit better. Got some of the positive and negative connections. I got some wire run down here. I'm gonna zip tie that to the main wiring harness, and then I also ran back the plug right here, which is what the heated seat will, the actual pad itself will plug into. Well, it's another day of working on the Ural and getting it ready. I'm not gonna be working on the oars at all this week. I've got 3 nights that I'm planning on using to get everything ready for our trip. You can see here, got this all buttoned up. Got a lot of the wiring up front. I'm just about ready to get the dash screwed down. You can see I got the handlebars back on. I just don't have them tightened down yet, so I can start getting things into place so I can wire them up properly. Let me show you this list that has only grown a little bit. I've only got a few things crossed off. Everything in these ones are things that I need to have done before we leave. The 2s would be nice to have. The 3s are really, well, maybe. And you'll notice I have like the wax as a number 3. Well, it's just because I had everything off and I had to wait, and so I went ahead and did that. And honestly, I like having a clean rig, so it'll be nice to go on that ride with that. I've got a plan to work through all of this over the next 3 nights. So that's what I have going on. I'll bring you in on a few of those pieces when I get to them. Well, I've made a little bit more progress. Let me show you what I've got going on that I'm working on right now. So I've got this splitter right here. It goes from the single throttle cable, and then it splits it into the 2, and one goes down to right there, and then the other one comes across to right there. The problem is it shouldn't be this far forward. It's actually causing a kink right there. You can see that break because it's so far forward. It should be sitting back here, but it should be actually over on this side of the wiring harness. Once I get those cables unhooked, I'll swap this over to the other side and then hook them back up. All right, more buttoned up on here. Let me show you what I've got. Seat mounting plate is back on. We got the throttle cable splitter. The throttle cable's moved over. So that's gonna help a lot. Thing's pretty much buttoned up here. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the wiring on the handlebars so I can kind of get that routed before I put the tank on, give me as much room as possible. Next is gonna be draining the final drive fluid and the transmission oil, and then refilling that back up. Well, you can see that milky color. That is not a good sign. That means the water has gotten into the gearbox. And I'll show you when this is done draining, I'll show you where that water has come in and what I'm gonna do to fix it. So I can deal with a lot of the design issues with Ural. I get their limitations and all of that, but the speedometer is one of the worst. Thankfully, I've gone to an all-electronic kit that's sealed. Well, they redesigned this cap at some point and made it the flimsiest plastic. It just breaks so easily. I just wiggled it off because it's cracked, because this is what they do. And so this isn't sealed. And so then water, anytime you ride in rain or wash it, drips down in through the cable right down into that hole there. That's where that cable goes into, that's where that nut tightens down, and then water drips down in there. I'm getting rid of that cable altogether, and I'm gonna put this back on because it does screw on, and then it's gonna get some silicone on the top to actually seal that out. So that is not an issue anymore, and I won't have fluid that looks like this. A nice milky color. We're fixing this. Well, I did not get to do a sign off last night because my camera battery died. So I'm just bringing you in this morning to let you see where we made it last night. I got this top piece on. I got the dock for the Trail Tech speedometer mounted. I did not get that done last night because there's a little nut that slides in here that fell out as I was trying to mount it, and I could not find it. And then this morning I was moving a few wires around and popped right out onto the ground, so I got that bolted up. We're ready pretty much for the tank and the seat to go back on, and that means we should be able to start working on the sidecar tonight. One last thing I have to do is adjust the valves on the bike, and then it should be ready to go. I could make a little bit more progress. We'll see how the rest of the week goes. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to this channel. That tells me that you enjoyed this type of content, and I'll keep putting it out. As always, I appreciate you watching.